Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where let's just say some meetings are more important than a weekend getaway. And today we're looking at Bolt Projects Holdings shareholders annual get together. Bolt Projects Holdings, they put out this report called an 8K, which is basically a heads up to everyone about really important stuff happening with the company that folks need to know about right away. Think of it as the company's urgent bulletin board. And this bulletin board is all about what happened at their annual meeting of stockholders. So on August 29th, 2025, Bolt Projects Holdings had their big annual meeting. It's where all the shareholders, the owners of the company, get together either in person or by sending in their votes to talk about what the company's been up to and what it plans to do. Around 58% of the company's stock was represented at this meeting, which is a pretty good turnout. They discussed several proposals, most of which were described in detail in earlier filings from July and August. First up, they voted on who would be on the board of directors for the next 3 years. Directors are like the captains of the ship, guiding the company. They re-elected 3 people: Daniel Widmer, David Breslauer, and Jerry Fernard. Almost everyone who voted cast their vote for these directors, with a very small number withholding their votes. There were quite a few, about 90,000 shares, that were technically not voted by brokers for these directors. This is common and usually means the broker didn't get specific instructions for those shares, but overall, the vote for directors was overwhelmingly positive. Next, they officially approved who will be checking the company's financial health for 2025. That's Elliott Davis Poll LC. Almost all the votes were for this, with a tiny fraction against or abstained. This is pretty standard stuff. It just means the shareholders are happy with the company's choice of auditor. Now things get a bit more interesting. Proposal 3 was about approving the company to issue a bunch of shares of its common stock. This is tied to an agreement they have with a company called Southern Point Capital, and it's a way for the company to raise funds. Think of it as selling more small pieces of the company to get money for growth. There were some votes against and a few abstentions, plus those broker non-votes we saw earlier. This approval is important because it allows the company to use these shares for important deals, keeping them compliant with NASDAQ rules. Similarly, Proposal 4 was about approving the issuance of shares under an equity line of credit with Ascent Partners Fund LLC. This is basically another way for the company to get money in the future if they need it, by having the option to sell shares. Again, the shareholders gave their thumbs up with nearly 1 million votes for it. The numbers here are very close to Proposal 3, showing a consistent shareholder sentiment towards using equity to fuel future operations. Finally, Proposal 5 related to the possibility of postponing the meeting if they didn't get enough votes for those share issuance proposals. Thankfully, they did get enough votes for Proposals 3 and 4, so they didn't need to postpone. The shareholders voted overwhelmingly for this adjournment option, just in case, which is a sensible precaution. So the big takeaway from this report is that the shareholders approved the election of directors, the auditor, and importantly, the company's plans to issue more stock for financing needs. This signals that the company is looking to grow and has the backing of its shareholders for these growth strategies. Now, looking at the bigger picture for Bolt Projects Holdings, they're a relatively new player in the market, and their strategy seems to be focused on securing funding through various means, including these equity issuances. On one hand, this shows an aggressive approach to growth, which can be exciting. However, issuing a lot of new shares can also dilute existing shareholders' ownership. It's a balancing act between getting capital for expansion and maintaining the value for current investors. The strong approval for these proposals suggests that shareholders believe the potential growth outweighs the dilution risk for now. But it's something to keep a close eye on as the company executes its plans. Remember, growth is good, but profitable and sustainable growth is what truly matters. Alright, that's our breakdown of Bolt Projects Holdings' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.